there's another sutta where it says, for one who's endowed with cultivation or meditation of loving kindness, for one who's developed loving kindness, they too can approach an assembly confidently and composedly. And you're totally right. And I think that, well, I feel that loving kindness is almost an embodiment and a livingness of those 6 gestures. You're less fixed on the tiny story. You've opened up with kindness to a broader world. You've embodied to a softness of body. You've included more of the universe than just yourself. You've seen that you're just a tiny little sponge in a whole ocean, and included yourself as well, and then just been okay with that. So yeah, I think loving kindness can also use and utilize all those different gestures as well. So I really appreciate you highlighting that, and would love to hear what Ajahn Nisabho says, if you had anything.
When I spent a year at a small Thai monastery, and just feeling quite isolated there. And, I think the cure when you're feeling lonely, anxious, afraid is to think, you need love, you need care. But that arithmetic never balances out. You can never receive love, not really. You can give love. And I think that was the antidote for me, was starting to spread loving kindness about, just for a large portion of my meditation, was you realize that you're kind of holding your goblet out to the world to fill up, but actually what you need to do is fill up the world's goblet, and that healed the heart and made me less afraid completely. And I think mapping it onto Ajahn Kovilo's Four Noble Truths framework is really useful, because another way of looking at the ordering of those Four Noble Truths is when we're feeling afraid or FOMO, whatever it is, there's this compulsion to join the conversation, to, jump in, to make ourselves known, or to somehow perform. And from my experience, if you act from that place of craving, tanha, it never wins. It just makes things worse. You dilute yourself. And it's interesting because actually the exact opposite motion of the heart is almost always correct, in the sense that if you have the compulsion to go out, just holding still for a time until that kind of wounded, raw wound that wants to jump in, that wants to be known, has a chance to quiet down. And then you've touched cessation, peace, even briefly. And then my experience is that from that place, you can move back into a situation or a social thing. And actually things are quite, there's less fear, less anxiety.